I think if you want to get into magic, I think for the first 2-3 years, you have to do your own research. Because unlike other sort of art forms, there is this thing that you're entering a world of secrets. So people are very secretive about what they want to teach you, because you might learn for a year and then get bored of it and start learning other things. So the first 2-3 years, go online, Google, YouTube, look up things. You'll find a lot of things. You'll find a plethora of content which you can get into. You can learn the basics, watch other magicians once you know the basics, try and replicate what they are doing. And once you've reached a stage about 2.5 years of doing magic or learning magic, not performing, get in touch with me, get in touch with any other magician who you look up to. And I'm pretty sure they'll be willing to help you. In fact, I've started doing open mics around the country, which are just for magic and mentalism. So if you're into magic for 2.5 years, get in touch with me. I'll teach you a few things which you can do on stage. I'll give you a stage to perform. That's something that I think but the initial steps are something that you have to take on your own. Everybody makes mistakes. I was learning forms of magic which I haven't done since I learned them. The cutting people in half, taking rabbits out of hats, making things disappear is something that's never excited me. But I learned that. But I don't regret it in any way, because it's something that I learned. I learned that that's not where I belong. I learned that my kind of magic has to be away from all of that. I learned that the sleight of hand is also not something that I'm supposed to be doing. The sleight of mind is something that I was more fascinated by. So the mistakes weren't really mistakes, so to say. They were experiences that I gained because of that. And I think it's very important that you make those mistakes to gain an experience so that you know what your holding is and what your footing is in the world of magic. There are a few moves without giving away too much, but there's a trick that David Blaine made really famous about 20 years ago, where somebody picks a card and it keeps jumping up to the top of the deck. Even if it goes in the middle, it keeps jumping on top of the deck with a snap of a finger. And he does that about 10 times in 2 minutes. That's something that you need to master in the 2 years of doing magic on your own, where you have no mentor, where you have no one to look up to, where you're just online. Those 2 years you have to master. That's one of them. The other one is one of the simplest ways to make a coin disappear. Now, you might not do these 2 tricks ever on stage. I haven't never ever done those tricks on stage. But you learn moves which are going to be involved in pretty much every trick that you do without actually doing that particular trick. So the basics get solidified just by learning those 2 tricks. The third one is not exactly related to magic. It's more about observing things. Because the kind of things that I do, the kind of magic that I do, figuring out someone's password, figuring out the name of their first crush, things like that, you have to look at people more than anything else. You have to figure out what they like, what they enjoy, what their expressions are, and communicating their expressions, basically putting a word to their expression so that the audience knows what you're doing as well, and so the audience can relate to what's happening. So those 3 things you really need to pick up on in the first 2.5 years of just doing things on your own.